And everything looks okay. So this is the closest that you can get your laptop to you, huh?
Close. If you want, I can bring my lips to the camera.
That's too much. And won't be necessary.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
be
it
happy
probably
with your
would be.
teeth, but you know. Uh,
It's 18 plus, right? This show is for 18 plus or
this
less
is
than
for
18?
plus 30. What are you talking about? All right. When was the last time that you thought you need to externalize a feeling, a concern, an issue, a problem in your relationship at office? When was the last time?
At office specifically, or could it also be like any kind of stress?
Let's say any kind of stress that
So,
you
well,
felt,
it was
yeah, need. You felt, okay, I am in need of just get it out of my system.
today, frankly. I mean, in fact, just before this podcast session, Jess and I were having a chat because we
Uh-huh.
are moving houses. We have bought a house and we only have 6 days to go. So we were just trying to sort out the logistics. And I was feeling very stressed because I, of course, have like lots of work and so many projects. I was working the whole day in the university as well. And after this podcast as well, I will work. So I was just feeling like really stressed overall. So I had to externalize it to Jess, and Jess being her calm self. By the way, Jess is my wife, and for the viewers, and so Jess being her calm self was there listening to me and just hearing me, and so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed and calm now.
So, first of all, congratulations for your house. This is a big step
Thank
in
you.
your life.
It
Uh,
is.
and you talked about your wife, Jess. She's the most lovely lady ever. Um,
Yes.
and which makes you to be one of the luckiest guys alive. So you
I would say so.
so you talked through your stress with Jess, huh? You just
Yeah, I
okay.
did.
Were you feeling angry or just stressed when you were talking about your reason behind of your feeling stressed?
I think it's interesting, but I would say it was a mix of overwhelming feeling plus an anxious feeling. So both of them were combined, and that's how I feel if I have a lot on my plate. And so, in those moments, I sometimes, you can either go into fight or flight, but when you're really overwhelmed, I feel like I go into the freeze zone. And basically, that's what was happening to me. And then I have to just basically take my time out to process whatever is going on in my mind. So I would describe that feeling as being like a mix of feeling overwhelmed and anxious at the same time. And I have had anxiety for a very long time as well.
Because you're pressuring yourself too much, bro. Like you work so hard, you work over the
Yeah,
weekends, uh, and are you in a competition with yourself?
I would say that I'm in a competition with myself, and I don't know, the current economic climate, it just can sometimes put you into this kind of a survival mindset as well. I mean, I love my field for sure. That's one of the things, but the whole aspect of delivering so many projects in a very short period of time can be quite overwhelming sometimes. And so, yeah, I'm just like, trying to hit my milestones and trying to do my thing. But this is something that's very common in, as you already know, in the research field as well, where scientists are under an enormous pressure to basically deliver on projects, but also write grants, also write publications, at the same time manage family, manage household, manage domestic chores. So it can be quite a lot. So I guess that's what is going on. I wouldn't say I'm in a uh, competition with myself, but there is certainly a drive to basically just be able to do as much as possible.
I can see that. Um, so when you are facing with all of these things, how do you boost your mood? How do you refill your engine?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, because I have been working like this for a long time now, even during my PhD, I worked like this. And I have worked with some really amazing people. No one like really pressures me. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But I myself have a lot of expectations from myself. I can be extremely hard on myself as well. So I think the most important thing is to not feel guilty about taking time for yourself.
Nice.
So, it can be in the form of meditation, or it can be in the form of playing music as well. I mean, I play guitar and I sing as well. So, my handle is there. If anyone wants to listen to my music, they can certainly check it out. It's mostly in Urdu. So, I love to do that. I love journaling as well,
Nice.
and speak to my wife or friends, or I like to go for a walk. So, there are lots of different things that are there that really help me boost my mood. So I think it's a mindset thing more than anything, being able to take time out for yourself
Yeah,
without feeling guilty. I think that is the most important thing, especially for people who are workaholics.
that's right. Will you sing today?
I will probably, yeah, maybe one or two songs.
One or two
I might
songs. I love
sing.
it. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I practice a lot, because it's one of those things that to increase your range and stuff, you have to keep doing at least 5 minutes and do it consistently as well. Because if you don't do it for a few days, then you can lose that skill. And I mean, it's the same with anything. Like, you are an incredible podcaster, you're an incredible photographer as well, and you're doing some amazing things in your career as well. So, you understand that the more time you put into something, the better you get at it. So finding things that you're passionate about and then being able to do them consistently, that helps a lot.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you for your kind words. But I do agree. The more you do it, the more master you get around it. Um,
Yes.
we are talking about externalization in this episode.
Yes.
Um, First of all, thank you for taking your time for this chat. And you're a guru in your area of expertise, whether it's music production, and you talked about my podcast. Well, you created a radio show as well. So you are multitasking and you are doing different things in your life, and some of them are nourishing your soul, and
Yes.
the other things are nourishing your pocket, which is essential.
Yes.
Uh,
100%. Yeah.
um, this externalization, how do you deal with issues that doesn't give you a well needed shut eye? When you want to go to sleep and you close your eyes, all these thoughts are coming to your head and deprive you from sleeping. How do you deal with them?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. And I've had this issue so many nights that it's hard to even say. So I don't know if I'm like an expert in dealing with it as of yet. But what I really try to do sometimes is that I try to count backwards
Mhm.
and just try to shift my mind away from those things. I also try to deep breathe, and I try to count my breaths as well. I think chats with you, Amir, also are incredibly soul nourishing. And so, please don't mention being thankful or anything like that, because I literally enjoy our chats so much all the time. So, yeah, so that's how I deal with it. And I actually remember having a conversation with you back in Abbey College as well, when we used to
R.I.P.
live together. And do you remember that conversation where we were chatting about the million thoughts that can come to our minds? How do you deal with that aspect?
Thanks for bringing the golden memories of PhD years.
Yeah, yeah,
uh, RIP to Abbey College, the one and only Abbey College, the one and only postgrad college in New Zealand, which was a great place. It's a shame that it doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. I loved your approaches. What I think about externalization is first to detach myself, to dissociate myself from the problem itself. So, what I do instead of self blaming myself for that particular concern that I have or for that worriedness that I have, I
yeah,
try to give the problem, the concern, the issue an identity, even a name.
yeah,
And when I detaching myself from it, I am able to see it in a full picture, not just a part of me, but as a separate identity. So when I look at it and I name it, for example, if I'm very worried about something, I name this feeling an angry cloud or ultracumulonimbus. And I try to see it that it's approaching to me, and it makes me to feel worried because the cloud is coming. I have to find a shelter or have to somehow deal with it. So it gives me an opportunity to think about what can I do with it instead of just being worried that it's coming. So this helps
right.
me in order to find solution because I'm a solution seeker. So it doesn't matter the nature of the problem, what it is. It's a work related, it's a relationship thing, or anything else. Separating the problem from myself
Mm,
is a starting point for me to deal with it. And in that way, I can even analyze its influences on me as well. So this really helps me to understand what will be the effect of getting drenched, for example, under the this angry or worried cloud. So
yeah.
it'll possibly make me to get sick, get cold.
Mm,
So what should I do with it? So separating myself from the issue
yeah.
allows me a room to less
Yeah.
self blame myself
Mm,
and think about that. No, I'm worthy of whatever that happened, regardless of the issues or the mistakes. I'm still a worthy person, and
yeah.
I am the one who is responsible for it.
Yeah.
The first agreement of the four agreements book by Don
Yeah.
Miguel
Yeah.
Ruiz is be impeccable with your words. And it doesn't mean that be 100% complete and true about whatever you're saying, because it's impossible. We
Yeah.
make mistakes when we talk, and we make mistakes with utilizing the words. It
100%.
means that you have to take responsibilities over what you're saying. So your
Yeah.
mind is a is a cultivate place, if I'm saying that word correctly.
Yeah.
Um, whatever comes to it, you are responsible for translating it to your, words. So
Yeah.
the first rule says be impeccable with your words, and I'm trying to, say that as a mantra, to repeat it to myself every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what's the problem or whatever wrong saying that I'm using, I am taking responsibility over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it
Yeah.
goes south, I'm like, okay, let's analyze it. What was the cause of it?
Mm.
But it's not the only technique that I'm using. But I hear you, and then I talk about another technique.
Okay, awesome. Well, being impeccable with your words is very interesting. And, I think every thought in itself is so important as well, right? From that standpoint, like a thought is basically like a seed. And, from that point onwards, a tree can be made out of it. So being impeccable with words is certainly like very, very good strategy. And in the context of, I guess, externalization.
Another method that I've used, and I'm really happy about it,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
similar to what I'm doing now. So it's
yeah,
voice memo,
yeah.
and we talked about it previously. Uh,
We did, yeah.
so I'm facing something that really um, is about to destroy my ego or my confidence level, whatever. I take the phone, I go to my personal chat, and I start recording my voice about how I feel about that particular
Mm.
situation. And I recorded for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The last time that I remembered, I recorded for 14 minutes.
For
For
14
14
minutes,
minutes, I was
nice.
talking. And interestingly, I was really externalizing my feelings in a way that in some parts my voice started to tremble, like my voice was
Wow.
shaking because it was
With
like,
emotion.
yeah, with emotion. Um, Rather than when I think about it in my head, I'm very rational. I'm not getting emotional about it, and I empty whatever I feel about that situation. A day later, in a very soothing afternoon,
Yeah.
um, I find a safe place and I start listening to my voice
Right, okay.
as if like I'm listening to a friend who is opening his chest to me, and he's talking about his issue or his concern or his fears. And now I'm
Yeah.
changing to this adult within, and I look at the facts and I'm like, oh,
Wow.
actually, this thing that you just mentioned could be the result of this. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
this solution would fit in your problem.
yeah.
So I somehow interviewing myself and having a therapy session with myself.
Wow.
Um, it's really helpful and it's really impactful. What do you think about it? Have you ever tried this?
Yes, I have tried it. I have tried it a long time back. It works for me. I should probably get back into it again as well. But especially when this was a long time back when I was actually based in Pakistan. So I used to record all my issues, but you know, I would just go so unfiltered and I would just be as true as I can be to myself. And then when I would hear it after 2 or 3 days, I would just be going through my phone and then I would listen to it again. Like feelings can be so powerful that you can feel like a different person even after a few days. And so I heard that, I used to hear that, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting that, I was feeling that way and I was quite like overwhelmed, but now I feel quite, good and stuff. So it feels like different, but also, it's also a very good way in developing empathy for yourself. Because I think there are some amazing people out there, and then those people can have empathy for all the other people. So I think it's an incredible way, and I think it's similar to when you have a journal entry and when you write something out, then you feel so much better when you read it back again, just understanding yourself. And I think it's a very effective mechanism, because I feel like when we give words to our problems, then we start to understand the problems
Yeah.
much better as well. We process it so much more, and we start to identify things that we previously had not. So it's probably sounding a little bit abstract right now, but I'm sure as we go forward, we will uncover these aspects as well.
Yeah. You write so many poems.
Yeah.
Have you
Yes.
ever
Yeah, I do.
tried writing a poem to your problem or to the worriedness or to the concern that you're facing? Okay.
Times, and tell you like how much relief I feel when this when this process happens, and you can basically feel so relieved after you write a poem that rarely anything can do that for you. I mean, the reason why I'm being so like emotive about this is that it actually really does work. Like some kind of calm sets in. So poems is can be a very useful way to externalize as well.
And I was reading this article, and it was mentioning about when you're writing to your problem a
Hmm.
note or a poem, by giving
Yeah.
it uh, a character or an identity, you
Yeah.
actually start asking questions that what are your fears? What are your
Yeah.
concerns? And you want to be, as you mentioned, empathetic with your fears. Like
Yeah.
why you think in this way. And this absolutely
Yeah. Yeah.
might be surprisingly insightful. And you reach to some conclusions that you would have never reached to those conclusions without addressing it directly to the issues. Which
Yeah.
brings me to the next topic, which is the fuel for externalization. Um,
Yeah.
as you mentioned in the beginning, you have some fuels to boost your mood. You talked about yoga.
Yes.
What type of yoga?
Well, not any kind of fancy yoga. It's just, yoga lattes. It's called yoga lattes. So it's yoga and Pilates mixed together. And in, Unipol over here, the student gym,
Yeah.
they have got like sessions that happen for members.
Mm.
So I've been joining them.
But going back to the mood boosters, um, so as you mentioned, the yoga, the exercise, I'm saying going out, hiking, spending time with friends, families, the ones that you feel really safe with them. Um,
Yeah.
Even decluttering your house. Not what you're
Yeah.
doing at the moment. You're packing, so that's definitely not a mood booster. but but decluttering your home and redesigning your home, or taking a bath in a bathtub, um, regulating your sleeping hours. I mean, if you sleep for 5 hours every day, try to sleep a little bit more. That's actually
Yeah.
helps boosting your mood every day. Um,
100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And even reading the books that
Yeah.
really makes you joy or feel, oh, I learned new, this is a mark of a day in my calendar because I
Yeah.
really enjoy learning new things. These kind of things are mood boosters and shouldn't be really mixed up with externalization because these are the things that we do in order to gather strength in order to deal with a problem. Sometimes we distract ourselves from
Yeah.
engaging too much with the issue by going to a hike or just to regulate our emotions, we do yoga, or just
Yeah.
to staying away from our anger, we start to redesigning our room or painting a new painting, you know.
Yeah.
So these kind of activities are fantastic. These give us the strength to be able to deal with a problem. But in order to externalize it, you need to actually sit down, talk with it, interview with
Yeah.
it, or make a
Yeah.
sculpture of it out of it. Have you ever done sculpturing?
No, I haven't tried sculpturing. I have No, I have not never tried sculpturing. Have you tried, Amr?
In my early childhood years, I did try it. And
Nice.
you know, when you paint something, you have a feeling like a creator because you create something out of a white canvas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sculpturing has the same feeling, but deeper because you're using your hands, and when you're touching, it's very tangible. It's really close to your senses. You're not just seeing
Mm,
it, but you're touching it and
yeah,
you're shaping it into a frame, into something that you visualize in your mind or something that you
yeah,
see.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
In a two
yeah,
dimension picture. Um,
yeah.
but it's been so many years, and I'm looking for a workshop, a 1 day workshop to just um, do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Highly recommend.
100%. I think any like sculpturing is amazing. I feel like painting is quite amazing. I tried pottery few months back actually with my lab mates.
Uh huh.
And so we were given these like cups and we had to paint them. So
So
I wanted
you
to
made it
give
out of the clay?
No, so it was
Uh
so the cup was already made,
huh.
but we were supposed to paint on the cup. So
Mm-hmm.
and basically then they would, do all the drying process, like heating process, drying, and so it comes out like real nice. And I wanted to give Jess a very personal gift. So I had basically drawn out, some Scrabble tiles on there, and I had also because we played a lot of Scrabble when we initially started to speak,
Yeah.
and I drew like other like memorable stuff as well on the like the address of the place where she used to live at, where we met for where she used to live when we met for like the first time and stuff like that. So just things like that on the cup, which then I gave, and that also was like extremely relaxing, and it helped me to externalize the affection that I feel for Jess.
Beautiful. See, people learn. uh, Gifts are not necessarily supposed to be so goddamn expensive. Gifts
True, true.
can be personal and make
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very big and deep impact on the person that you're really caring about. Be creative about what you're doing and spend more time on what you're doing. I mean, going to shop and buy something really luxurious is one thing, but making
Yeah,
something and make it very personal
yeah,
is
yeah.
something else.
I don't know, like, I often think that people tend to make a big deal about like diamond necklaces and stuff like that and buying that for, their special ones. To me, it just somehow like lacks a little bit of
Hmm. Hmm.
soul, but maybe
Hey, you just talked about buying a house. Don't say I'm
I'm
poor.
a
Come on,
great.
man.
That's true. That's true. I'm rich, but I think being rich by heart is more important.
Can't agree more. No, honestly, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, uh, I'm reaching to a point that I think that about the resources that I've used, it's better to introduce one of them. Um, Here's a good book about
Okay.
externalization that I would love to introduce it. What is narrative therapy? This is a very easy to read book. It's a very small book. It's like 230 pages only, and it's been written by Alice Morgan.
Yeah.
It really avoids from using the very academic term of therapy and psychology, but it just talks about
Yeah.
the usual things, the tangible things that we are facing every day, and
Yeah.
it's very warmth. It's very warm and it's very
Yes.
down to earth. I have a feeling about the texts that are really close to me. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, this clarity and being very warmth. It's just makes a big impact. The second chapter, if I'm not mistaken, is about externalization, and it talks about some of the methods and outlines how we can
Oh,
deal with problems. Give them identity and basically avoiding from self blame. Some of the techniques
yeah.
that I used, and I just talked about it, I've learned from this book. So, highly recommend this book.
That's really cool, Amr. Thanks for sharing that resource. I think, one of the main things that we haven't like probably spoken to our viewers about yet is the fact why should we externalize?
Why should we do it? Well, to begin with, I think if we don't do it, we will explode because we continue to self blame ourselves, that we lose our self esteem completely. And if we lose our self esteem, we
Yeah.
will not value ourselves anymore. So, externalization is a cognitive shift about mentally reframing the problem as a separate identity from myself. I do it because I care about myself, because I don't
Yeah.
want my self esteem to be damaged by a mistake or a worriedness or a fear or something that I've done wrong or a decision that I
Yeah.
did wrong. So I need to do it in order to analyze it and in order to uh, still moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting and putting it in the perspective of self-esteem. That's a very interesting take on this matter. And I was reading this analogy that people use. So, for instance, if you just keep bottling up whatever is there within you, it's like the beach ball effect. You know, you have a beach ball and you're trying to basically drown it within the water. But the more you drown it, the more force is going to come up with. Similarly, you would at some point explode or implode if you're not externalizing and not processing things. And I think that's where you start to, as you're mentioning, like start to lose your identity as well, who you are. It's so closely tied to your identity, the process of externalization, that it has to be done. And this is one thing that I find extremely interesting, because some people can actually take lots of self-destructive decisions, right? Like, something that's not nice for them. For instance, smoking, we know, is not nice. So, as we were talking about it, like, the whole mood boosting and then
Mhm.
externalization. So, I would like be very interested to hear your thoughts about this phenomenon as well where, people, for instance, know that a certain thing is not good for you, but still they would go for it.
Um, I think that makes us human, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we really uh, get attractions from the things that are forbidden.
Yeah.
It starts with Adam, huh? Uh, don't eat it. Oh, I have to eat it.
Yeah.
When you really restrict something, the curiosity increases. Why is it
Yeah.
restricted? Why they say that it's bad for your health? On the
Yeah.
packet of the cigarette, it shows that it destroys your lung, and still,
Yeah.
it's one of the largest industries.
Yeah.
People smoke no matter what. I mean, they increase the price of the cigarette, still, people find a way to spend money over it. This persistency of ourselves to destroy our health by eating too much fast foods,
Yeah.
uh, or or using the classy cigars because we want to look cool,
Yeah.
or doing vapes because people think about that. Hey, what's life? If
Yeah.
if I want to live 5 years less because um, of losing my health, that's okay. I'll take 5 years less, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
deprive myself from high cholesterol foods. These are
Yeah.
the joys of life, and their argument is like, name one healthy thing that actually is fun.
Yeah.
Healthy foods are not fun, are not really sumptuous. Healthy activities are not really fun. But having a cigarette over the top of a mountain, oh, that's fantastic. or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or alcohol consumption to a level that it really forbids you from thinking straight is fantastic. In a party
Yeah.
without alcohol, I cannot be myself. So I have a feeling that this tendency of fleeing from ourselves
Yeah.
and attaching ourselves to something else that brings peace and
Yeah.
calm to our soul
Yeah.
is a widespread phenomenon.
So
What
interesting.
do you think about it?
Well, no, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like, like rather than trying to find contentment within yourself, you're trying to look for contentment elsewhere. And that is where the issue lies. And I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm perfect in any ways, and I have had my own share of fun experiences. I am still a big fan of like high cholesterol foods. I love my red meat as well. And at some point, I used to smoke as well. So now I have given it up. But it was extremely hard. And, I don't like, I'm not going to say that, it wasn't fun. It was a lot of fun when, as you're saying, going to the top of the mountain and then having a cigarette with like a can of Mountain Dew. It was really good experience. But, this is what it is that, at the end of the day, just being able to disso just being able to, understand that that's what I'm trying to do for myself is that, just trying to understand what is good for me, what feels good for my soul. Because, of course, like, when you eat like these kind of high cholesterol foods as well, I don't know about other people, but like for me, I am probably at an age now where, it makes me feel bloated, doesn't make me feel healthy, makes me feel like too full. So I just want to focus on those aspects as well and do things that feel more comfortable for myself. So slowly, I think, I'm trying to push myself towards a point where I know that, I'm trying to avoid my problem right now by basically, going to these other measures. It's very hard. It's always a process. Maybe I will never attain it, but I mean, that's the thing, that life is a journey. And you can never attain 100% perfection, but you can keep working on like certain aspects and keep improving. So that's all I think I can try, and that's all I can say from my own kind of experience, really. So, this is one thing that is extremely interesting, right? Like, so for instance, for people like me who are some kind of perfectionists,
Mm,
and can be like extremely hard on ourselves, I think we also have to be quite like easy in that sense, and feel comfortable with who we are, and that it will take us some time to get to a certain point. But I think, as you're saying, like, as you were mentioning about self-esteem and acceptance, we also have to learn to accept ourselves for our imperfections, which I think is an extremely important and critical point when dealing with externalization. What are
absolutely.
your thoughts on that?
Embracing yourself, embracing who you are. In the social media, always they post things that embrace yourself, just accept who you are, da da da. But they don't really understand what does it mean. It means that you have to face your weak points as well. It doesn't just mean that you have to
Yeah.
embrace who you are and just stay who you are. I mean, if you're lazy and this laziness really makes you to lag behind of your goals, well, do something about it. Don't just say, "Oh,
Mhm.
I've accepted myself that I'm a lazy ass person, and um, I don't care about doing my bed or making foods or taking care of my family because I'm lazy." Well, life has a price for it, and you have to pay the price for your laziness.
Yeah.
However, putting that into consideration that life is not white and black. So you cannot always be on a healthy diet, for example, or you cannot always be
Yeah.
tidy. Okay, there are some
Yeah.
circumstances that you need to slow down, relax. As you said about being idealistic, you need to get easy on yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all about moderation and making
Yeah.
some sacrifices. And aging, which I love it. I love it. It gives you an idea or an ideology to speak it, to put it more frankly. It makes you to be more aware of life just the way
Right.
it is. You just don't necessarily think about reckless behaviors. You just don't necessarily think about evaluating only your emotions. You start to
Yeah.
evaluate other people's emotions as well. You
Mm.
start to think about what are the consequences of my actions, not only on myself, but
Yeah.
also on other people as well. Um, so I believe that if people would follow this, hey, be on a diet, but on a moderation. Eat fast food, but on
Yeah.
moderation. Do whatever you want,
Yeah.
but on moderation. Be a little bit thoughtful of your actions, of your words. Again, be impeccable with your words. The life would become in such an exciting way, it becomes simpler. People think that,
Mm.
oh no,
Yeah.
we actually shouldn't, make rules for our lives, but actually it just helps you to be more structured in a way that you know what you're doing, you know who you
Yeah.
are, you know your
Yeah.
weak points, you know that, hey, it's okay. Tonight I'm skipping brushing my tooth. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'm not removing my trousers and I just go to bed because I'm just so tired. It's
Tired.
okay. It's okay to not to be so rigid and hard to yourself. And sometimes
Yeah.
when someone starts to criticize your behavior and um, your actions, you won't
Yeah.
get that words personally. The
Yeah.
second rule. for agreement,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't take it
Mm,
personally, it helps you to think about, okay, yeah, yeah, that person is right. I mean, I'm actually that kind of person that they're addressing, and I'm using
yeah.
now externalization now. So now I'm dissociating
Mm,
myself from the issue, and I look at it. What can I do with it? I accepted it. The first step for evaluating your self-esteem is acceptance. You have to accept who
yeah.
you are. This is the way that it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you're saying about aging, right? And like with how time has gone by and you become more aware. And I also think that, life, so much of life is about like experiencing so many different like things and memories and, speaking to different kinds of people.
Mm,
So I certainly think that aging in itself is like a really beautiful phenomenon. And, as you go by, the more you question yourself, the more time you take for yourself, the more you understand yourself.
true.
And so then you start to understand the richness of life in that way. Because I mean, lots of brilliant philosophers have gone by. One of them, Immanuel Kant, he used to say that the reality is through you, right?
Beautiful.
And what your eyes would see and what your ears would hear, and so, and other senses as well, sense of touch and like sense of smell. So basically, the more you can pay attention to these feelings, the better you get at it. As we were saying that it's a skill. For instance, to
Absolutely.
for instance, if you're singing, if I sing, I basically practice so much. So similarly, you have to give yourself time, do that practice so that you can understand yourself
I love it.
better about who you are. Are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Where do you stand? And that only can happen through externalization and putting your thoughts on paper. Initially, it's going to be probably totally bullshit. When I read some of my texts from 11, 12 years ago,
Mm,
I'm like, what was going on in my head, right? And maybe the initial instinct was to be a little bit judgmental, but the truth is that I have to take a step back and think that that's when I was starting my journey.
mm.
And when you're starting your journey, then in anything, you're probably not going to be good at it, you know? Amir, my question to you is how many schools actually focus on a child's emotional regulation? How many schools teach you? How many parents even teach you to basically identify yourself, identify your actual strengths, your weaknesses, and, on the basis of that, take like a decision? For me, that was not the case, at least I can say for sure.
None, zero. And
And
always, I mean, you cannot expect the parents, to be honest. They always try to say good things about you and try to,
yeah,
upbring you in a
agreed.
way that they proud that you're a valuable
Yeah.
asset in society. And um, most of the times they're protective. I mean, it's their job. I mean, it's the parents' job to be
Yeah.
protective about their children. But these
Yeah.
things doesn't just come through if you don't read, if you don't talk to
Yeah.
people, if you don't research, if you don't evaluate your relationship
Yeah.
with others, nothing will change. I agree.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, that's what it is. Like, I would say that our viewers should probably, try these methods out. And I don't know, sometimes, we can be afraid
Mm.
as well, right? In the sense that, it can be an uncomfortable position, but I think that that's more so a reason why one should do more of it to try and understand themselves. Because then, when you're initially uncomfortable, I mean, I was initially uncomfortable, and that came from a place of not accepting yourself, but then slowly, the more you do it, the more you understand its value. And of course, it's going to be tough for people as well, right? And for them to feel uncomfortable because, speaking your heart out to someone, well, you can't do it in all circumstances, but, to a close friend, you should try to be like very open. And having grown up, I think that there was this expectation that at least boys have to be like really tough, and they have to deal with their issues more head on. And I remember I came back to my house, not house, but I was living somewhere
Mhm.
and in Pakistan, and basically I shared something with some people close to me, and they basically judged me so much for sharing about it. And they're like, you gotta man up, bro. This is not going to have like any kind of an influence in your life in the longer term. And you don't have to be so sensitive all the time. So the environment can be extremely uncomfortable, but to speak about. But I think it's extremely important that people start to speak about things. And I just wanted to highlight this really grim incident that happened in the Pakistani showbiz industry like very recently.
Mhm.
So there was this really nice actress. I actually didn't know much about her work, but basically, what happened was that people noticed that she hadn't paid. Well, the landlord noticed that the rent had not been paid for 8 or 9 months. So then the court bailiffs went in to this person's house, and they broke the door because no one was responding, and they found that person's body over there. So she had passed away. Her body was in a mummified state, actually, at an advanced stage of decomposition. And basically, after they did the tests, they realized that she had been dead for probably around 8 to 9 months. Not, no one noticed her absence, not even her parents, her friends, and she had 700,000 Instagram followers. That's such an astonishing number of followers, but basically, no one reached out to her. No one tried to understand her whereabouts. Her
Right.
WhatsApp had last seen of 9th October or 7th October or something like that. But her body gets discovered on the 8th of July. I think what happened to this actress is a very interesting case study of what is happening in this age of social media. We have so many. I have around 1,000 Facebook friends. People have thousands and thousands of friends, thousands of followers, but how many people will actually turn up to when you're sick or how you're doing?
True.
So I don't know, somehow social media is making us take our friends, our family more for granted. And although its purpose was to connect us more, for some reason people are becoming very disconnected. And I would like to, read more studies about it or why this is the phenomenon. What are your thoughts on that?
I second that, Zohaib. Honestly, I think social medias actually makes us more departed from each other rather than more connected. I want to just shout out to Lucas, our ex Abbey College friend. He made a video clip about using social
Yeah.
media too much and how utilizing the phone can really dissociate you from your college environment. Um,
Yeah.
and the name of the documentary was Disconnect to Connect. And I loved it. It just showed that when we are staying away from our phone for 7 days, what are the changes in our lives? I will find a link to his video clip, and I share it with the viewers. It's a worth watching um, documentary, I would say. And I can't agree more with you on it. Because we think that we are in touch by seeing a story from you. I see a story from Zohaib. Oh, so he's okay. I see that he's
Yeah.
sharing some pictures of flowers. Oh, he's okay. I
Yeah.
see he's posting of a song that is so beautiful and is touching my heart, although I cannot understand what he's saying, but it's heart touching.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's okay. While it might be the exact opposite of how you actually feel it. We
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
the how are you section, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so if you ask people how are you and they're like, I'm okay, I'm doing okay, I'm just alive, you know, these kind of answers.
Yeah.
Go for a follow up question if you care about them. No, actually, how are you feeling?
How are you? Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we'll take these seriously. Then we are in a good space. Then such a dramatic story that you just shared with us won't happen. But if we just
Yeah.
rely upon the social media status, um, then we will be amazed in a very bad
Yeah.
way that what happened to our
Yeah.
friend. Oh, he looked really happy. Why
Yeah.
she or he ended their lives? We have
Yeah.
so many examples. I mean, you just made one example. We had so many examples in Hollywood comedians that they
Yeah.
attempted a
People.
suicide. You know, and
Yeah.
that's sad because again, we don't take time to our really close ones. So stop
Yeah.
texting and sending emojis to the people that you care. Start with your families, I would say, and pick up the phone. If you can visit them, just go visit them. So,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
believe that in Auckland, people are afraid of driving for more than 20 minutes?
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
That's absolutely ridiculous. If you set up a location for meeting a friend and the distance by minutes is above 20 minutes, they're like, oh, it's too far. Oh, no. Can you come over here? And,
Yeah.
you know, I understand that people have their own issues to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're not really ready to take up a 30-minute drive
Yeah.
for an hour chat in person, face to face, how dare you to name yourself a friend?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wh-
Don't people commute like 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours to get to work anyways in Auckland, especially if you're living in certain regions?
Honestly, that even makes it worse. That you do it for your work because they pay you, but you don't do it for your friend because your friend
Yeah.
doesn't pay you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so this concept of let's stay connected over Instagram or over Facebook is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really need to externalize this in a great format. That why are we doing this? Why are we so rely
Yeah.
upon getting the news from my friend through a social media application? And it's getting even worse because, you know, with
Yeah.
introducing of more social media application, it makes people to
Yeah.
stay home. They
Yeah.
don't go out to find a person, the love interest. They
Exactly.
stay home
Yeah.
and, you know, attaching to these um, dating apps. What?
Yeah. No, I think, exactly. Like, I feel like it's an unfamiliar territory. Like, for instance, it's extremely uncommon now
Yeah.
for people to probably, ask, like, how someone is doing if, I don't know, in the sense that, because, how to explain this? So basically, because we are not practicing that skill, right? Like, so for instance, I think about it. If you wanted to spend your day, a holiday, you could basically keep doom scrolling the whole day, and you would keep getting your dopamine
Yeah.
from that. You could watch Netflix and you could watch multiple episodes. But maybe back in the day when all of these things were not there, you had to actually get out of your house, else you'll get so bored. But you don't have the capacity, you don't have the time to get bored anymore because these technologies have constantly
Bombard
been
you.
bombarding us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you don't go out. And so it's unfamiliar territory. Even asking a question like, how are you, can be an unfamiliar territory. Like, for instance, if someone is, homeless and is sitting down, you know, you're going to feel like uncomfortable walking. Why can't we just ask them, how are you doing? They're humans as well. If you,
Yes.
even if you like, don't have money, like you can at least try and have a conversation with them. But it's just like such unfamiliar territory now that people just feel uncomfortable with it, and it just keeps going back to the whole, the more you put yourself in the spot to try and do it, the more you practice it, the more better you get at it. But because people are not practicing this, it is becoming a lost skill now, like how writing is becoming a lost skill. So maybe we will see calligraphy will phase out and stuff because
True.
people are not doing that, right?
True.
So exactly, I think it is just, social media is taking over us, but there needs to be more awareness about this. And I don't know how easy it is going to be for people to snap out of it, but people probably will have to make a conscious decision.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it at some points as well.
But at least you're aware of it, you know. You're not
Yeah.
drowning yourself to it. You are aware of it and you try to do something about it. Again, you try to manage it. You're not trying to shut it off completely because frankly we can't. Honestly, we cannot live without
Yeah.
this. But we can manage. And
Yeah.
that's why I second your previous talk about mental health. That's why the externalization is very important, especially for men, to talk about
Yeah.
what really concerns them, what really makes them worried or feared. They have to talk about fears. We have
Yeah.
to be able to be honest with ourselves, and we have to really
Yeah.
find a safe spot to externalize our issues, our thoughts. We
Yeah.
cannot just
Yeah.
gather everything in our mind and be man up about our problems.
Yeah, yeah. So, Amir, can I also just ask you, you are so, I think, in tune with your feelings. I've always observed you to be like that. So, how did this quality come about in you? It's a rare quality to have, I think. At least I haven't done any kind of statistical surveys, but since when did you start to get into this?
I think after, especially after migration, it happened more. So
Okay.
I was vigilant about it, but I really didn't put it into the action after I came to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And living independently really helped me to think about the things that I'm facing without the influence of family, society, or people who are making decisions on my behalf.
Yeah, yeah.
Therapy helped as well.
Yeah.
So, to whoever thinks that whoever is on therapy is a crazy person, well, I respect your idea, but that's not the case.
Yeah, yeah.
Therapy is really helpful. Therapy helps you to face with your true self without blaming yourself, and that's a gem. And
Yeah.
constantly reminding myself the values of life, the things that I believe, the books that I read, just keep reminding myself of those concepts helped me to really apply these skills into day-to-day life.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you in some ways say that it was like solitude or that made you question these things more and come towards it, or were there some kinds of like influences? Because I think openness to such an idea is also an incredible, way
Yeah,
of dealing with things, and you were open to it.
absolutely true. And I'm quite observant about my actions, the consequences of my actions, and the effects on people. Also, I'm not bad in active listening. So, active listening is a very great tool,
Yeah.
which really helped me to understand people's dramas,
Okay.
concerns, and taking notes, writing,
Yeah.
start analyzing it really helped me to somehow gain experience from other people's lives without experiencing them myself. If that makes sense.
That is so interesting. Yeah. So you're basically getting into the shoes of another person, and you're like, okay, well, this person is going through this.
Yeah.
It might be a different problem or a different issue, but that person is going through that, and you can wholeheartedly relate with it. And so, in some ways, because you're validating their experience, you want to apply the same principle to yourself.
I personalize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Okay.
there's no such a thing as good experience or bad experience. There's just experience.
Yeah.
This experience might
Yeah.
be bad because of the way that I look at it, but I always look at experience as a classroom that I learn from
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Those are lanterns for lighting on the future, the experience
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
past, the mistakes, and I try to just always make the best decision um, with observing all the angles currently
Yeah. Yeah.
with a kind of a prediction of future. So if
Right.
2 years later I think that, oh, I shouldn't have made that decision and I'm so regretful about it,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't have that feeling. I never regret of any decisions in my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
huge statement, okay? But I
Yeah.
stand for it because I'm like 2 years ago I thought about all the angles and I utilized all the skills that I had and I utilized all the
Yeah. Yeah.
tools that was available.
Yeah.
Yes, I could have made another decision if I would have talked to that person, but that wasn't available at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm learning from that journey. As you said, life is a journey,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
apply it for future decisions. Do you have any regrets in your
Yeah.
life?
No, I don't think so. I don't have any regrets. And as you're saying, I'm also someone who is like prone to seeing the glass half full rather than half empty.
Nice.
And even the worst experiences I have had, I feel like in some ways they have been a blessing in disguise, because as people like Jalaluddin Rumi, and then even like people like Friedrich Nietzsche, they say that you need to have a balance of both experiences. Like, well, let's just for the sake of semantics call it a good and a bad experience, but the lowness of low experiences in life makes you appreciate the highs of the best experiences of your life as well. So that's the reason why I like to give like equal weightage.
Mhm.
And I think from that standpoint, you know, you're just able to carry on forward. And I think if something bad happens to you, so for instance, for me, the biggest challenge that I ever faced in my life was to lose my father. That really put me into an existential crisis. And I mean, initially it was extremely hard for me. But then, you know, I started to look at it in ways that, when years started to go by, I was like, if I made out of that experience, I can make out of survive and make very well and do well in life from any kind of
Fantastic.
experience in life. So I think, that helps you to see things. And then I started to look at it in ways that, that was not in my control. It happened. But now, how can I do justice to my beautiful memories with my father, right? And how can I honor him more?
Nice.
So, and I also saw that, his teachings to me, I can always implement them in my life. So, why do I have to have such a superficial way to think that if he's not with me, does that truly mean that he's not with me? Because in my mannerisms, he's still there. In my behaviors, he's still there. So, as you're saying, like the mindset and how you reframe, that is extremely important.
Absolutely true. God bless him. And good on you. Kudos to you for look at things in a different way, in a more growth way.
Yeah,
Zohaib,
yeah.
this talk is just going. I mean, the flow with this talk is just extraordinary to me. But because time is an essence and I don't want to make Jess unhappy because you have
What's the
duties.
time now? Oh my God, it's
Because
8:04. I can't believe it. It's
me
been
too.
an hour and a half.
I know because you have some in-home duties to fulfill. Um,
Clean the kitchen up.
absolutely. If you have any final thoughts, I'm all ears.
I have enjoyed this podcast a lot. You're doing incredible work, Amir. You're touching on some really important topics, and I really want to wish you all the very best. And I want to see you go really ahead in life. Your friendship has meant a lot to me over the years, and I have learned lots from you. And you are truly a gem of a person. And yeah, I mean, this is one thing I wanted to say to you. Just wish all the best to you. And for the purpose of, saying something to the viewers, always keep going. Don't shy away from speaking about your issues to your loved ones. And, always keep growing.
Awesome. No, thank you very much. I truly appreciate this friendship and I'm honored to call you a brother of mine. New Zealand would have been a different place without you, boy. So I'm so happy that we maintain this friendship no matter how distance we have. Uh, I'm so happy with that. Thank you
Yeah.
for having the time. We talked about this topic of externalization, which is kind of a mental tool to help us to get some different perspective to our problems and making them to feel less like a fundamental personal issues attached to ourselves. And finally, we can have an understanding of the problem itself in order to find the best way to manage it and ultimately having some
Yeah.
power
Yeah.
over it in order to create some space for change, for improvements. And that's our ultimate goal. Thank you for being in Saffrony podcast. Viewers and listeners, you can see Zohaib's social media application here. If you want to listen to a music that truly touches your heart, check out his Instagram. And if you want to hear and see more episodes of Saffrony Podcast, head on to YouTube for saffrony.podcast and share your comments with me. I will read every and each one of them. Thank you. God bless you. Until the next episode, with all due respect, Amir.